was struggling really bad with trying to identify who Tammy was.
Welcome to the Live Your Dreams podcast, where success leaves clues and someone has your answer. Today, I'm joined as always with my lovely co-host, Mrs. Mckisset at the end.
Hello.
And also, I'm joined by one of the triplets. We were lucky enough to get one of the triplets, Mrs. Tammy Parker, joining us today.
Yes, hey.
All right, so one of the things we're going to talk about today is how to move on after a divorce. So first and foremost, we're here live in Tammy Parker's estate. You have a lovely home, Tammy.
Thank you.
One thing we want to talk about is how do you move on from a divorce? Now, before we talk about how to move on from a divorce, what was Tammy going through before the divorce?
I was married for 20 years. And maybe around 2011, I was struggling. I was struggling really bad with trying to identify who Tammy was. I didn't know who I was. You know, I didn't know what I liked to do. I knew I was a mother. I knew I was a wife. But what did I want to do? You know, so I can remember sitting in my office at work, trying to identify some of the things that I like to do. And one thing came to mind was fitness. You know, but I didn't know what in fitness. I never done anything in fitness.
Well, where to start?
It would have started, you know.
Right.
But one particular day, I had a health fair at the job. It was a health fair. I went down to the health fair. I sat down with the nurse. She asked me, she said, well, let me check you out. You know, let me check your blood pressure. Let me check to make sure that you're not dehydrated. So I sat down. I think I was about 39 years old at the time. So I sat down with the woman and she said, hey, you know, do you work out? I said, no, I never worked out in my life. She said, wow. She said, well, right now I just want to let you know that you are dehydrated.
Wow.
I said, I'm dehydrated. And she said, yes. So she said, I'm just telling you now, before you turn 40, she said, you're 39 years old. So she said, I recommend that you start working out. And she said, start with the treadmill. And I said, oh, okay, well, I'm going to buy me a treadmill. So I went home and I said, you know what? I'm going to buy me a treadmill and I'm going to start my fitness journey. Didn't know, you know, that I was going to, you know, be anybody, but, you know, I started that journey. So I got my treadmill and I started just working out on my treadmill. I told my kids, you all have homework. Your homework is to do your homework. Mom's homework is to get on this treadmill every day. And so that's what I did.
Yeah, I remember when you started, too, working out. And one of the things about working out, and again, thank you, because you motivate Tia and myself with the fitness piece. But one thing about working out, sometimes it seems like it's like a stress reliever also. Do you ever see working out as like a stress reliever for you?
It sure is, and it's therapy for me. So I love working out. I get up in the morning. I love to go out on that bridge. I love to just meditate. So I go out on the bridge. I meditate. I talk to the Lord. I pray. And also get a good workout.
Nice. Now, were you doing this before the divorce?
So, yes. So I started a year before my divorce. Okay. Didn't know what I was getting myself into, but I knew it was something that was missing. I knew it was something that was missing within me. So that piece was missing. Something that I needed to identify what I wanted to do. So that was missing. So I started that journey.
So did fitness become your passion? And I know a treadmill didn't give you the workout routine you have now. Where did you go from a treadmill to being an obsession for you? How did that happen?
Well, first, you know, I started on my treadmill, and you know, when you start seeing results,
Right.
You know, I started going to work, and the people were saying, "Tammy, what are you doing? Your skin is glowing. You looking good." And I'm like, "Really?" So I really got motivated, you know, and kept on with, you know, my treadmill. But then eventually A fitness instructor, a girlfriend of mine. She was a fitness instructor. She said, Tammy, she said, why don't you come to my class? I'm getting ready to start my business. So she said, strength training.
Nice.
I didn't know anything about strength training, but I said, okay, I'm going to come to your class. So I went to her class, and that's where it started.
I wanted to say, too, you were drinking all those sodas. We all were drinking a lot of sodas, and then you went strictly just to water.
Well, exactly. When I was at work, I had some interns. The interns I had, when the lady said I was dehydrated, that nurse, I went back to my office, and I saw that big McDonald's cup of tea.
Oh, wow.
I threw that tea in the trash. And I said, from here on out, I'm going to drink nothing but water. The two interns laughed at me. They laughed at me. And I said, okay, that's all I drink is water. Nothing but water, you know.
Yeah, and that's true. When we go out, I feel kind of like I need to drink more water because I'll order a drink and you'll always get your water limit. So that's amazing. It's very impressive what you do. Now, one of the things, and we see what you were doing before the divorce. Do you think when you found out you were going to get divorced, if you wasn't working out, do you think you could have handled it the same way you handled it now?
No. That working out, I think the Lord was preparing me for this. Mm-hmm. And so that's why the year before, I started working out, and I think He was preparing me for what was to come.
So you were finding Tammy. What makes you
finding Tammy? I was finding Tammy. And then when that bombshell happened, it was like, wow. But what helped me, that fitness instructor, she was there for me. We was running. I was doing about 10 miles. I think I might have been running maybe 2 or 3 times a week and working out. And I felt good about myself. I started finding, developing friendship with other women, fitness women, women that wanted fellowship. So, I found myself, just really engaging with them. And so that really helped me. That really did.
So when the bombshell, which you described, happened, when you found out, okay, now I'm getting divorced, what was the first thing that you did? And the reason I say that, because I know relationships, everybody's in relationships, and this happens. Tomorrow's is unpredictable. We all are one phone call away from a phone call like that. So when you found out that this was happening, what was the first thing, if you can remember, what did you do?
Well, the first thing that I thought about was, I need a plan. I need a plan, and I need to make sure that, I needed to first find a place for me and my kids. What did that look like? So that was the first thing that I was thinking about. Okay, the transition. The first thing was, hey, I need to sell this home that I have, So that was first and foremost. And secondly was to find out, or to make sure that my kids had a nice, safe home to live in. And so that was my overall goal.
I have to say, the home you had was lovely. The home you're in now is lovelier. And that's one thing with the fitness. And I want to go back to the fitness because I think that's just a huge part. Mm-hmm. And I know with Tia and myself, because of you, we are motivated to get in better shape. With the fitness, if you didn't have fitness, what do you think the outcome could have been? What would have been?
Hey, I could have been depressed.
I
could have been in the bed. Mm-hmm. But I was motivated, just like Tom Short.
Does he?
He motivate. I love to motivate women. So I had that drive and that motivation to say, you know what, get up and do something. But I probably would have been in the bed depressed, if I didn't have the fitness. I don't know.
Yeah, and that's one thing. Again, you mentioned your father, because again, Tia, Tammy, Tasha, triplets. Their father, Tom Short, who was a huge influence on my development. That's one thing when Tammy started talking about the motivation. I like that part, what you talk about.
Yeah, I know. I was so shocked when you called me. We talk every day, and you called me and said that you and your husband was getting divorced. I was so shocked, hurt, because we all been married a long time, since our 20s. How long did it take to move on from the divorce?
Well,
I can't imagine.
You're right,
through
and
this.
I can't really say how long because you really can't say how long. I moved in at the time. I moved in with my parents. With our parents, and they got sick. So my focus had changed. So I couldn't focus on him. I had to focus on Tammy. How was I going to live now as a single woman with 3 kids? Now I moved in with my parents, so I didn't have time to focus on him. That time was to focus on me and my kids and trying to transition and move on.
Yeah, question for you when you talk about that, because I remember that day when your parents were, your mom and then your dad, and again, sorry for your loss to both of you. But do you think when you focus on helping somebody else, does that actually help you get through your pain? Do you think that that coincidence somewhat took the focus off of your own pain because you were so focused on the pain of your parents and losing your parents? And again, my condolences for the loss. Do you think that coincidence kind of made the focus leave yourself?
It did. And also, moving in with them, trying to make sure that the kids, their transition was good, that they was doing good in school, and also helping my parents. So all of that. So I had to take the energy into something else, and also into my fitness. Running and working out with the other women was really good for me.
Yeah, and the 3 of you, I just gotta say, as best as possible, you 3 really did that loss. You had it very well. Things, T, I know you had some questions you wanted to ask too.
I also want to say that was a loss, losing your husband. That was like a loss also. But what advice would you give other people that's going through divorce or thinking about divorce?
Well, the first thing I would say, you have to find yourself first. You have to know yourself. And it was a blessing that I was able to get to know who I was a year before that happened, to really, get to know myself. So that's first and foremost. And secondly, you need to come up with a plan of action. And then you need to have a support system in place. Family, friends, have to rally around you. You have to have that support system. But what motivated me the most was I had 3 kids that I needed to make sure needed a safe place to be. And I needed to show them that, I was a role model, that, I had to get myself together. I had to, in exercising mentally, I had to get myself together to help them. So, right. So
have that plan. They have to have a plan in place to know what's step 1, what's step 2, what's step 3. Now, one of the things with moving on, and again, we're in a lovely home by now. And again, it's not all materialistic. We're not saying that at all. But was there any doubt or fear that your lifestyle would change once you found out that you were going to get a divorce?
I'm glad you asked that question because, we had the big home, when I was married. And at that particular time when we were getting divorced, I didn't even care about that home. Let's sell it. Wow. I'll get rid of everything.
That's deep.
And I knew that I can get all that stuff back. So let me just tell you all a story that happened when I was at my parents' house. I had another home that I sold, and the guy that I sold it to became friends with my father. That guy came over one particular day. I answered the door, came to the door, and he said, "Tammy?" And I said, "Hey, yeah, I'm here. I'm here with my parents now, my husband and I got divorced, and I'm here." I said, "But guess what? 2018 is my year. 2018 would be my year. And the guy looked at me and he said, oh, okay. And when 2018 came in, that guy called me. I haven't heard from that guy. This was in 2015. In 2018, that man called me and said, I have something for you to see. And I said, something for me to see? He said, I want you to see this house. So I went to go, to go see this house. My kids, my father, we all went to see this home. And I looked around and I just imagined myself being in here. My kids, I worked hard from 2015 to 2018 to get my credit together, to get to know who I was. I did everything. I did all the work, all the hard work. So we came in, the real estate agent, I had the real estate agent come, and I said, you know what? I want that home. She said, really? You want to just do a contract? I said, oh, sure. Let's just get the contract going. We did the contract, and maybe like the next day, I got the home. And a month later, we were in this home.
Wow.
So what I'm saying to you guys is you have to believe it. You have to believe it, and you have to speak it.
That's good.
And I spoke it into existence.
That's good. I like that. So that's it. I mean, you got to have a plan. I mean, you made my day.
Have a plan.
Yeah.
I'm excited about that. So any other questions that you might have, Tim?
So it lets you know that even if you're getting a divorce, or you can make it.
You can make it. You can make it.
Believe and pray about it, you will make it.
Yeah. Now, with a divorce, how do you make sure the divorce or the past don't come into your current relationships? How do you keep because sometimes people may say, well, I think I may be hurt again, or I may be, I may get the same effect. How do you ensure that you don't bring the past into your current relationships? Because people need to know how you do that.
Right. And first, you grow. I've grown since 2015, and just don't be bitter. When you meet people, when you meet people, meet them. Don't start talking about your past relationships and are you going to do this to me?
That's good.
Right. So I just say, meet people and get to know that person.
Each person is
individual. Everybody individual.
That's awesome.
And also, my ex-husband and I, we have a good relationship.
That's awesome.
So don't be bitter. If you're bitter, and you're not going to be successful in a new relationship.
With the Tom saying when that comes up. Don't be bitter.
Be better.
And we still have good men out here, good women out here. So you will find someone else.
Yeah. So that's one of the things. And again, ladies and gentlemen, I really believe that success leaves clues. Someone has your answer. Today, I really believe that, Tammy, you really helped somebody with an answer. Because again, ladies and gentlemen, it is possible. Again, ladies and gentlemen, if you like what you heard today, please like, subscribe, share. And again, I'll see you. And yes, I do mean you. Living your dreams.